just maybe tape it tomorrow night. I'll have to get a tripod from somebody, but what do you think?
I don't know, Dad. It's whatever. Sitting here like that.
Don't you wake me now, I'm dreaming that the ship will soon be steaming out to sea. Bon voyage! Am I here? Can this be me? Bon voyage! Bon voyage! Did you hear that whistle blowing? Can't believe we're really going, but it's true. Bon voyage! And the whole wide world feels new. Take my pictures, someone, make this happy day in London.
Take a picture of me with my head out of the portal.
Bon voyage, bon voyage. Nothing like the thrill of travel and to start it right, you have a lovely day. Bon voyage, you will soon be on your way. Bon voyage, bon voyage.
Mr. Cook has cooked a tour up and we're on our way to Europe second class.
Bon voyage. I still say it's sassafras. Stop and nonsense. Europe's nothing to Vermont. Bon voyage, bon voyage. Go to my steamer trunk and let it go so cheerio and let it tota. Bon voyage. I'm a foreign movie star. The weather on the continent is an awfully touch and go thing.
you want. Scrimp and save every penny. And most important of all,
Get your family to pay your way.
well, I like that. It just so happens that's not the case at all. Not at all. Oh, they might have helped out a little bit with clothes and spending money and the boat tickets and the money for the hotel, but Cornelia and I took a stand. We insisted on using our own money for tipping.
That's the old pioneer spirit. How can you stand there so calmly, Emily? You're on your way from Muncie, Indiana to Paris, France. You and Cornelia in Paris, France.
The Eiffel Tower.
Frenchmen!
Frenchmen! The Champs-Élysées.
Frenchmen walking!
Mercy, haven't you girls got anything on your minds but French men?
Of course. Englishmen. Italian men. You girls are disgraceful.
Thanks, Barbara. I agree.
Of course they are. What's wrong with American men?
Well, Bryn Mawr would certainly be disappointed in you girls. Just don't appreciate the finer things. I'm going to Europe for history, language, culture. I'll have enough work on my hands just looking after Cornelia.
Oh?
Well, I suppose I shouldn't be saying this, except that I know it won't go any further.
You can count on us.
And of course, everything I'm telling you, I've told her.
Of course you have.
Well, you understand, of course. She's my dearest friend. But her parents made me promise I would keep an eye on her. And if I didn't, mercy, utter chaos would occur. I know that girl, believe me. I could tell you quite a lot.
Yes, yes.
But she's my dearest friend, so I will absolutely not.
Oh.
For one thing, she's forgetful. Half the time she's in a trance. The fault is in her reading trashy novels of romance. And so it's not surprising that her conscience often slips.
Yes, yes.
But she's my dearest friend, so it will never pass my lips.
Oh.
I often think that morally she suffers from neglect, but then her folks are in the theater, so what can you expect? She's always dramatizing. She's a poor tragedian. And then, of course, the way she acts with men.
Men?
But I'll never breathe a word of it. I'm loyal to the end. I'll only say she's fortunate that she's my dearest friend.
We'll say she's fortunate that you're her dearest friend.
I miss you already. What do we do all summer without you? What you do when anyone leaves. Talk about it.
Think of it, Cornelia. You and Emily alone in Europe.
Well, almost all alone. Remember, my parents will be in Paris, but they promised to make believe they don't know us if they meet us.
My parents do that now.
Even if they are in Paris, you won't be living with them, so you really will be on your own. Really living for the first time. Aren't you scared? Well, to be truthful, girls, I foresee no problem I can't cope with. Except, of course, Emily.
Oh?
Now, this isn't confidence.
We'll take a solemn oath.
And how do you spell confidence?
No, don't misunderstand me. There isn't anyone I'd rather see Europe with. But, speaking objectively, which I always try to do.
Yes?
Yes?
Well, you understand, of course. She's my dearest friend. But
strictly entrepreneurs. They have reason for alarm. The way that girl behaves, you have to watch her like a hawk. Yes, yes. But that is petty gossiping, and I'm not one to talk. Swell. She really needs a nursemaid or a foreign diplomat. There was that night at Bryn Mawr. Oh, but why go into that? Why not? Oh, I could tell you stories that would really curl your hair. Yes, yes. But she's my dearest friend, and I say nothing whatsoever. Oh, poor Emily, it's not her fault environment's effect. And she's from Muncie, Indiana. So what can you expect? So true. She's always in hot water, like a little girl of 10. And then, of course, the way she acts with men. Men?
There's only 7 more.
Arms for rebellion? This stuff weighs a ton.
Otis, what's the matter with you? I'm carrying Cornelia's baggage too, and you don't see me complain.
You're right, Maud. I'm being unfair. But I still, for the life of me, can't see what she needs with all of this. And this is just her hand luggage. She still has all those suitcases and steamer trunks.
Well, it's true, I must admit. If Cornelia changes 7 times a day, she still won't come near to wearing all the clothes she's brought. Her hat boxes alone could fill the cabin room.
We never should have let her go to those Theta Barragoons. Makes a father's blood run cold. Can't you say something to make her give up that vamp attire?
Is there anything I can say to make you give up the theater?
Of course
Well,
not.
I'm afraid our baby shows the same sort of dedication to Miss Barra.
Maud, why have we agreed to this foolishness?
Otis will be in Paris ourselves by the time they arrive. If this show of yours wasn't detaining us, we could make the trip with them. But as it is, we can't. And what harm can there be in 2 girls going to Europe by themselves? I mean, what sort of trouble could they get into?
You, the mother of Cornelia Otis Skinner, can look me in the face and ask that?
Well, at least she has Emily along. That reassures me some.
The Kimbroughs are probably saying the same thing about Cornelia.
Oh dear, what a frightening thought.
Well, I say this. One false move out of either of those girls and they get moved into our hotel. And from that moment on, we're an inseparable foursome. Where did they say our cabin was?
One more flight down.
Is there one more flight down?
It's what the girls chose, Otis.
Probably for the historical value. Sure, it's where they kept the galley slaves.
Otis, love, give baby some credit. She's doing it to save money for those acting lessons she wants to take in Paris.
Well, as long as she's down this deep in the ship, she might as well lend a hand in stoking the furnace. Not only would she save money, she'd make money. I realize Stanislavski said suffer for your art. But why make your poor father suffer with you? What's become of the Skinner family anyway? What are the meeting point? What's become of the junior member? Where is she? I thought she said she was coming right along after she looked for Emily.
Baby will meet us in the cabin. She wants a few minutes alone on deck.
What on earth for?
She said she wanted to stand by the rail and be emotional. I think those were her exact words.
Sorry to say they sound like hers.
The exact when she sees it all again, it will be through different eyes. Now when she returns from Europe, she won't be the same girl.
She better be the same girl.
Right over there, I think would be fine.
Yes, well, you can say one thing about the Skinners. They don't spoil their young. This cabin could get us arrested for cruelty to children. Very effective, dear, but if you hold it too long, you'll lose your eye.
Oh, I just want to drink it all in. My cabin, my home for a week, my escape route my home on the sea. Just think of it.
I can't. I don't have that strong a constitution.
Otis, love, don't spoil it for Cornelia. Things look different to you when you're young.
Well, it's very rapidly down here.
I'll age very rapidly, and Emily doesn't arrive soon. Where can she be? It's almost sailing time.
I'll see if I can find her. It shouldn't be too difficult. I'll just look for the tall plume on that outlandish hat.
Emily doesn't wear outlandish hats.
Thank goodness for small favors.
Oh, I'm glad we have the chance to be alone for a minute, baby. Now, there's one thing you must promise me. I lie awake all night with visions of you losing your purse and being stranded somewhere. Now, promise me you'll wear this safety pocket.
Mother, I can't wear that.
Of course you can, dear. You must put it on under whatever you are wearing, and your valuables are perfectly safe. You know how you lose things, baby. I even put some money in it for some extras you might need.
Thank you for the money, Mother. But I can't go to Europe wearing this thing.
Why not?
Oh, Mother, I tried it. When I walk, it flaps.
So does that hat you're wearing, but you consider it stylish?
Vita Vera wears hats like these.
She'd set a better example if she wore a safety pocket.
Cornelia! Emily!
Forgive me, Mrs. Skinner. How are you? I forgot my manners and all the excitement of seeing Cornelia again.
I know, it's been 2 whole weeks.
I don't know how I got through them. Is Mr. Skinner here?
Oh, I'm not looking for you.
Here he comes.
Well, I couldn't find her. And no wonder, because she's here. Good to see you again, Emily.
You too, Mr. Skinner. I'm looking forward to our all being in Paris together.
I can just imagine.
Well, you might just look us up in Paris if you feel it wouldn't be too much of a strain on your independence.
Right over here, please. Here you are, young man.
Oh, thank you very much. Is that what you usually tip, Emily?
Of course.
Penny?
A penny? Why, I just gave that steward $1.
I think what you gave him was a penny, Emily.
It was the largest coin I had. And it was an English coin.
Yes, an English penny.
Oh, Emily, how could you?
Mr. Skinner, what was that worth in American money?
2 pennies.
Ah! Wait, steward, wait! I'm gonna beat it!
Why on earth did she bring English money?
This is an English ship with an English crew. She felt they would appreciate being paid in their own currency.
Thought she'd befriend the natives, eh?
Well, dear, I don't think you'll be bored on this trip.
I don't think any of the other passengers will be either.
Emily, here! Oh, dear, I think Emily's forgotten our cabin number. I'd better go after her.
Get out, you man!
Mercy, you'd think they would wear something when they take a shower.
How disorganized can one person be?
Or what?
Oh, Emily.
Well, mercy, Cornelius, just all this excitement.
Well, I'm just as excited as you are, but you don't see me in a mad scramble. The whole secret of something like this, Emily, is a methodical approach. The more important the occasion, the more methodical one has to be. And since this trip is the most momentous event in my life so far, I have planned everything with complete deliberation. That's why I've been able to keep my wits about me, and that's why I know what I'm doing.
Come in.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Well, we're sorry to disturb you, but my friend is trying to say is that there seems to have been some mix-up with the luggage. One of our trunks apparently is rather like one of yours. They were standing side by side on deck, and this young lady had the steward take ours to her room by mistake. We'd like to have it back.
Why, that's perfectly absurd.
No, miss, I'm afraid it isn't. That trunk right there is ours. This one here, so we'll just take it if you don't mind.
I do mind you'll do nothing of the sort.
But miss,
The nerve!
Dear, maybe it's the young man's luggage.
But Mother, it isn't.
it's entirely possible, Cornelia.
Father, I certainly ought to know my own suitcase.
Miss, all you have to do is open it up and you see it couldn't possibly be yours.
You let that alone.
I'm just opening it to show you.
Seems perfectly reasonable, Cornelia.
I don't want strange young men rummaging through my personal belongings. Emily, help me.
It's all right, sir. See, we're medical students. All three of you. You'd only take our word for it, man.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
You all right, miss? Guess we should have explained about Rupert.
Oh, no, it would have spoiled the surprise. Well, I suppose the suitcase is yours because I distinctly remember leaving my skeleton home. I thought of bringing it, but it came down to a choice between that and my heavy sweater.
Alas, poor Yori.
Well, I guess we'll be going. Sorry about the inconvenience. You're sure you're all right?
Oh, yes, perfectly fine.
Well, then I guess we'll be taking off. We'll just have the steward go ahead and bring your trunk up later.
Thank you.
Yes, you're right, Cornelia. There's nothing like methodical preparation.
The more I see of you two, the more this thing begins to worry me.
Mother, Dad, now Otis, our baby's about to sail off for Europe. Our baby going to Europe. Oh, Otis, our little baby.
The warning whistle, Maud.
Now both you girls take care. Watch what you eat. Wear something warm at night. And don't go catching any colds. And be sure you write home, Emily. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye, Emily.
Take care, children. We'll see you in Paris.
Here we are, on our way. Just the two of us, all alone. Not knowing a soul.
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far. I'm afraid we do know a few people on board. As I was coming on deck, I met Elise and Francine. They're making the trip too.
Who?
Elise and Francine? You remember, the two girls who walked around school like Gloria Swanson, except that their slips were all showing?
They were seniors when we were freshmen. I remember. I hated them.
Everybody did.
I forget why, though.
Well, one reason would do as well as another.
That's true, I suppose. But they were awful. Let's keep out of their way.
Oh, they'll probably be so busy with men, they won't have time for us anyhow. I don't know if it had anything to do with meeting them. I hate to tell you this, Cornelia, but I feel seasick.
Seasick? Emily, that's absurd.
All right, let me put it this way. I seem to be getting a case of mal de mer.
But Emily, we haven't even left port.
Why wait when you can get in ahead of the rush?
Emily, you're acting ridiculous.
I'm not acting, Cornelia. I really don't feel well. I'm beginning to have a sharp pain in my chest.
For heaven's sake, Emily, we're still at anchor.
Don't tell me, tell my stomach. Now the pain is in my back. No wonder I'm in pain. I was lying on this.
That's mine. It's my, passport case.
Well, meet a fellow traveler.
We must have a larger room. My luggage won't all fit in that horrid little tiny box.
The size of this boat. It's amazing.
Amazing. Have you talked to anyone yet?
Only some English people. Funny thing about English people. All they want to talk about is the weather.
I noticed that too.
And I mean, after all, how much is there to say about the weather?
Lovely day, isn't it?
Isn't it beautiful?
The sun.
Isn't it magnificent?
Wonderful, isn't it?
It's so nice and hot.
First I think it's so nice when it's hot, isn't it?
I don't. See what I mean? I do, don't you? Personally, I do too. Isn't it?
Cornelia, Emily, how wonderful to see you again.
How are you, Francine, Elise?
It's always so nice to meet old friends unexpectedly.
Old friend?
Well, we Bryn Mawr girls have to stick together, you know. See anything interesting around?
Everything's interesting.
She means men, silly. See anything interesting?
We really hadn't noticed.
Come, girls. It's us you're talking to. We went to Bryn Mawr too.
You sound as if you've done this all before.
Done it. I'll say we've done it. For the last 4 years, back and forth to Europe every summer, and still no husbands to show for it.
Is that what you make the trip for?
Husbands? No, dear. Wealthy husbands. Difference, you know.
To tell you the truth, Cornelia and I hadn't thought much about it. We have no doubt that'll all get taken care of when the time is right.
Dear, nothing ever gets taken care of. If you want husbands, you have to go out and look for them. They're not about to come to you.
Well, I think that is a disgusting attitude. And if I really believed that, why, Emily and I would probably end up as spinsters.
Don't tempt fate, darlings. You might do just that. Come along, Francine. There's one whole section of this ship we haven't covered. See you both later. Children.
How gauche.
And old. Did you notice the crow's feet?
They look more like duck tracks.
It's sad the way age creeps up on you.
Running back and forth to Europe every summer looking for wealthy husbands. Oh, it makes my skin crawl.
Watching the years go by.
Not that it's really important or anything, but how old would you guess them to be?
Well, I'm trying to be kind, of course. But if you look closely under all that makeup, well, 24 at the very least.
It makes my skin crawl.
I know what you mean. Look, Cornelia, it's clouding over.
Cloudy enough, isn't it?
Isn't it, though?
I hate a cloudy day.
So depressing, all those clouds, don't you think?
Most depressing.
Not like a sunny day.
Not at all. You're absolutely right.
No, I just love talking to you. Shall we sit in the sun, do you think, or stroll about a bit?
Traveling is so tedious. Let's just sit and relax a bit.
Europe is entertaining the first or second time, perhaps, but now I feel only the old ennui. Do you think they look all right? Well, your sunglasses are on upside down.
I hope you don't mind my coming over here like this, but I was just noticing you both from over there on the deck tennis court.
Mind? Of course not. You were noticing us?
I certainly was. I said to myself, if ever two girls looked as if they could use some exercise, those two.
Thanks very much.
Exercise?
How about a game of deck tennis, girls? It's a fine day for it.
Well, we've never, that is,
We don't. We mean.
Come on now, you'll enjoy it. I promised those two girls over there I'd find them some people to play against.
Oh, girls! I think not. It's been so long since we played last.
It was the Riviera, wasn't it?
No, fun, I believe.
Well, maybe next time.
It wasn't just because they were girls.
Of course not. That had nothing to do with it. It's the sun.
And that wind.
Not to mention the water.
And they were girls.
Could we intrude upon you, ladies, and ask if you'd move over so we might sit down?
The rest of the chairs seem to be occupied. You could just move over one.
Why, of course. Cornelia, dear, why don't you pick up your copy of Swan's Lake by Proust in the bar?
I'd be happy to, Emily dear. Don't forget your Schopenhauer.
Thank you very much. Why aren't you
You're
those...
the two I thought you would.
think introductions are in order. I'm Bob Thackeray, and this is Dan Fitzpatrick.
We're pleased to meet you, Emily Kimbrough and Cornelia Otis Skinner. We almost didn't recognize you without your friend.
Oh, you mean Rupert.
Yes, where is he?
Oh, he's below. We prescribe rest and relaxation. He's been in a state of shock since our unfortunate meeting.
Is this your first trip abroad?
Oh no. We're old seasoned travelers.
You've done this often?
As often as we can spare the time from our busy social schedules.
That's wonderful. We're new at this. It's our first trip. You see, we both just finished medical school. We thought we'd take the summer off. See a little of the world.
Dan, maybe the girls would be kind enough to recommend some places for us to visit. We're not much for guidebooks.
Of course, they shouldn't miss that quaint old inn just outside Luxembourg.
You two don't sound like very seasoned travelers to me. How many times did you say you've been abroad?
5.
In other words, this is your first trip, too.
I guess that quaint old inn tripped us up.
All right, we confess this is our first trip, but we like to play the experienced travelers.
Oh, well, don't let us spoil your fun. As far as we're concerned, you're the best traveled people we know.
Tell us about Europe, why don't you? Your Europe.
Ask us anything.
Were you in London?
Are we in London? Oh, but my dears, you jest, of course. We saw the changing of the guard at Westminster Abbey. Then we hailed a pub and ordered a cabbie. Drive us down to Piccadilly Cross, where we saw the famous statue of Godiva on a horse.
The statue of Godiva on a horse, of course, of course. Were you in Roma?
We lived in Roma. We had this darling catacomb. We saw the galleries of art, the Louvre and the Prado. Saw the famous work, the great Leonardo, painted on the Colosseum dome. Were we there? We know it inside out. It's like our second home.
Be it ever so humble, their second home is Rome.
Did you ride through Vienna in a gondola?
Did you roam the Spanish moors, perhaps?
Did you see the leaning tower of Heidelberg?
My dear, those tourist traps.
Did you climb the Himalayas in Switzerland?
Emily was indisposed.
Did you kiss the Blarney Stone in Portugal?
We wanted to. It was closed.
Were you in Zurich? Were you in Budapest or Chartres? If you've dreamed of historic old world places, you can have a good head start with the Skinner and Kimbrough Guide to Europe. You'll know them all by heart. You'll know them all by heart.
Come on, let's show these two seasoned travelers life aboard ship.
Well, we made it. Do you think anyone saw these officers required to dance with the female passengers?
A sorry state of things, I call it.
I thought we were joining the Merchant Marine, not the blasted ballet Russe.
Oh well, cheer up, old boy. Well, the best is bad. Stand and do the best, my lad. Tomorrow we pull into harbor and it'll be all over.
Tomorrow doesn't worry me. It's tonight. I suffered shipwrecks in my time. I've weathered drought and stood
consider marrying me and all that sort of thing, would you?
I'll tell you. As a matter of fact, I rather think I would. And here we are, by ourselves.
The men on this trip have been unbearable.
Well, not quite.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about those two medical students Cornelia and Emily snared. Those are the two best catches on the ship.
I'm inclined to agree. They seem to be smitten with the girls.
Don't they, though?
I wonder just how smitten they really are. I mean, if, for example, some competition entered the scene.
Are you thinking what I think you're thinking?
Aren't I always?
Yes, thank goodness.
Now, how will we go about this?
Same way we always do.
Poor Emily and Cornelia.
On the contrary, those poor medical students.
There they are now, over there by themselves. Should we give it a go?
Why not? What have we got to lose?
Yoo-hoo, Mom and Dad! Wait a minute, we'll join you.
You and I are on our own, with a chance to live a little, at least for a few months. Now, what's the point of letting ourselves get tied down to girls now? Besides, it wouldn't be fair to them.
You may be right at that.
I am right. And the more we see of Emily and Cornelia, the deeper involved we're going to get.
What do you suggest?
Well, first off, we should make it plain to the girls that this whole thing was just four people enjoying each other's company. No more than that. And when we get to France, we're going to be free agents. All of us.
I'm not so sure they'll go for that. I'm not so sure I like it myself.
Do you think it's fair to Emily to get serious now?
Of course not.
Then you've got to discourage her. It's the only fair thing to do. You know how girls are. They take the smallest, most innocent remarks and blow them all out of proportion. By now they probably fancy that we'll be spending all our time in Europe with them. And we won't. There's too much for us to see.
Let's let them down gently.
Of course we'll let them down gently. We both like them too much to do anything else. And I don't think it would be a bad idea to start dating Elise and Francine. After all, isn't that what we came to Europe for? Along with all the rest of it. To meet sophisticated women.
Shh! They're coming. You look so nice.
Bob,
I was only looking.
Hello? What are you both doing out here? We looked for you inside.
oh, we felt like getting some fresh air.
Well, in that case, Dan, why don't you and I sit down someplace and plan out all the things we're going to see in Paris, as you suggested yesterday?
What I suggested yesterday. Well, I'd like to have a talk with you about that, Cornelia. Why don't we take a walk around deck? There are some things I think need talking about.
Fine, Dan, just as you say.
I can't wait till we're all in Paris together, Bob. What fun!
Emily, I think, well, that is, I mean, Emily, to tell you the truth, I don't think we should see so much of each other once we land.
Bob! But you said yesterday you wanted to see me every day in Paris, and how wonderful it would be, our seeing it for the first time together.
That was yesterday, Emily, but since then I've grown a lot. I've had a chance to think about it, and I don't think it's such a good idea.
What's this all about, Bob?
Emily, you're too nice a girl. I don't want to hurt you.
How are you going to hurt me?
Well, I'm weak.
How can you hurt me if you're weak?
Emily, you're making this very difficult. I don't want to be tied down. I want to be on my own. You're too sweet a kid to get yourself involved with someone like me.
What's wrong with someone like you?
I smoke and drink and gamble. I use profanity. I have every vice. You are much too nice. Get away from me. When I get in a temper, I'm like a storm at sea. I'm an evil swine. I'm a Frankenstein. Get away from me. You'll only get hurt, my sweet, if you should stay. So I repeat, Get away, get away. I've always traveled lightly. I like a life that's free. So while we haven't yet sung a love duet, get away from me.
I was your plot, my friend. I know that line, and in the end, you'll be mine.
I have to study medicine. I have no time to load. Must burn the midnight Edison.
I hate Bogreddy Grove. It's too much study, Liebchen. You're nervous, I can see. I have the right prescription for you, me.
I can't resist temptation. You're cute as cute can be. But I haven't planned on the golden band of connuptiality. How I wish, my pet, we had never met. Get away from me, darling, get away from me.
Say the landing's the best part.
Oh, that's not what I always say.
No,
Sometimes I say I like boat trip best.
I should say not. The landing is by far.
How can you say that? It's obvious the boat trip's the best part.
And the landing is.
Oh, well, I say the boat trip is.
And I say the landing is.
Well, this is it then.
I'm afraid so.
English people should only discuss the weather.
3 more hours. 3 more hours, Cornelia, between us and life.
You would like baby, but not me. I'm dying.
You've been saying that for an hour now. You may as well get up. I'm not going to do your packing for you, no matter what tricks you use.
It's no trick. My throat feels like something hanging from a hook in a butcher shop.
You are hot, Cornelia. Oh, mercy, I hope it's nothing serious.
Oh, it's serious, all right. I just know I have pneumonia and diphtheria with a little smallpox on the side.
You don't get smallpox on the side.
It's not quibble over syntax. I'm sick.
This is really serious, Cornelia. There's a health inspector who examines all the passengers before they let them go ashore. If you're really sick, it may you stay on board and take you to Hamburg, Germany for observation.
Oh no. How can I get off in Hamburg, Germany, when my parents will be waiting for me here on the dock? What do we do?
Well, there is one thing. At least that way we can know if you're really sick or not, but you won't like it.
I'll like it. I'll like it better than Hamburg, Germany. What is it?
Call Dan and Bob. They're graduates of medical school. They should know what's wrong with you.
Forget it. I'm fine. Just fine. Whole thing was a joke. See? I'll show you. Oh, my head.
That settles it. I'm going to round up Dan and Bob. Don't move. I'll be right back.
Oh, let it not be anything, please. I don't want to give up in Hamburg. I want to see my family. I don't want to go to Germany. Oh, ich bin, du bist, ist, wir sind, ihr seid. Ich wish dass ich were dead.
What are you staring at the ceiling for?
I'm waiting.
What for?
The Grim Reaper.
What is it? A little berry? Sty in the eye?
Looks more like a case of hangnail fever to me. Dan, come over here. Look at this on her face.
Wow, doctor. Would you like to step step outside for a small conference?
I think I may have made a mistake. I think the medical school did. Let him graduate.
This is no laughing matter, girls. Cornelia is really ill. Judging from the looks of her, we'd say she's getting a nice case of measles.
Measles?
Measles? You can't, but you do.
Well, one thing, Cornelia, I can nurse you. I've already had the measles.
You're always so superior. I've already had the measles. It's just like you're always quoting Homer to me in the original Greek.
How soon will it show?
Got a few hours, and there'll be no mistake.
How could you do this? Where'd you get them anyway?
I guess from my baby cousins before we left. They weren't feeling well, but if I thought they had this.
Well, it's too late now. You've got it then. We have to figure out what to do with you.
Look, can't you give her something that'll bring her fever down? Then maybe we could smuggle her ashore.
Are you asking us to lose our licenses?
You don't even have them yet.
And we never will if we help you with this foolish scheme. Come on, Bob, let's go.
Forget it. I don't want your help. I just don't want to die. My whole life is passing before me. The time the sailboat capsized. The time I was hit by a pitched ball. The time I fell off the stage as I was making a speech. The time I nearly got run over. The time
Buck up. Those are all your memories. Going mightn't be all that bad. Just joking. Now, what can we do?
You can do something. We don't want anything to do with it.
From here on in, you're on your own. We wish you luck.
You'll need it.
Rats, these are in the sinking ship.
The ship is sinking?
Just a figure of speech. Now, what am I going to do with you?
Just wrap me in a flag and bury me at sea. And no speeches. I hate speeches. Here lies Cornelia Otis Skinner, a budding actress whose talent was nipped in the bud by a measle. Measles, measles, imagine. Measles, fools will laugh. I'll be spotted like a full giraffe. With the measles, measles disgrace, measles distress, measles immature. No, we must not kiss me, no, no more. I've got the measles. Polka dots of red from head to toe have got me so distraught. I won't go with any of the clothes I brought, not with the measles. Sapphire boots, want of rain, but let us face the facts. She wouldn't get a banjo or a sax if instead of her tubercular attacks, she died of measles. There's such a vast army of ills that smart us, splenetic anemia, peritonitis, undulant fever, encephalitis, and if you like dancing, there's even St. Vitus. Lobar and bronchial types of pneumonias, and others as fatal and just as euphonious. Typhus, malaria, tuberculosis, and all of the plagues in the 5 books of Moses. Consider the wealth of diseases to pick one that make it a positive joy to be sick. But do I have any
at your walling sea steer. With me beside you, you will rest in peace, dear. Frightened little waif, don't fret or chafe with me or safe from harm. I'm here, Cornelia, dear Cornelia, be calm. Calm? When I brought away so she could have been a star. But why is it she didn't get that far? That's right, you win a 50-cent cigar. She died of measles. Cornelia? Measles. Cornelia! Measles. For pity say Cornelia, big measles.
Stop dramatizing, Cornelia. You're not going to die. What we have to do is think of some way to get you off this boat. Cornelia, you'll have to get up and just try and fix yourself so you can get by the health inspector, that's all.
Me? Get up? In this condition?
It's either that or the quarantine ward in good old Hamburg. And don't forget, your parents came down to meet the ship. If anything goes wrong now, they'll never let us live alone. All right, I'm up. Now what? Get into your coat. But first, do something about your face.
I beg your pardon.
This is no time to get sensitive. I mean, put on cream, face pad, or anything so those spots won't show. How do I look now? As though you've been ducking for apples in a paper hanger's bucket. What did you do to your mouth?
I accentuated it. It will distract from the rest of my face.
I'll say it will. That was no sweetheart rosebud you had there to begin with. Aren't you being a bit spectacular just to cover a few spots?
Please, Emily. It's merely a case of understanding the art of the theater. You can trust me. Now, where's my white veil? Here it is.
You're going to wear that?
Of course. Maybe less conspicuous.
I think you're delirious. Now, let's start. What are we doing? We have to let it in. Act natural. On second thought, don't do anything. Just be still. Let me do the talking. Come in.
I'm the Inspector of Health. Yours, the Mademoiselle Kimbrough and Skinner, is it not?
We are, and we're just getting ready to leave and see your beautiful country for the first time.
It is what we're seeing, Mademoiselle. Everything is fine here, is it not?
Perfectly fine. You can see for yourself.
Bien, bien. Everything is très bien.
Good. Then I wish you a happy stay in my land. Au revoir.
Oh, saved! Now let's get off this boat before he changes his mind. Steward, would you take our things, please?
Was I being paged?
Oh, mother, father, you do not know how glad I am to see you.
That goes for both of us, Mr. and Mrs. Skinner. I was never so glad to see anyone in my life.
Well, it certainly looks as if we were missed. Cornelia, what are you wearing?
She's got the measles. We're smuggling her ashore.
The measles?
If they find out, we can't take her off the ship.
They just started.
Oh my God! Your mother wasn't here when you needed her. Oh, stop it! Tell her to get off the ship and eat her bread. Oh, I can see it's going to be no news to us. Steward, take me to shore. Emily, you carry what you can. We'll help Cornelia get off. Otis, if you can stop laughing, you might call us.
onto your hat. They're here.
Paris or Paris, capital of France. Located on the Seine or Seine, Paris or Paris is a hub of industry, center of fashion for women, center of women for men. There they stand close at hand, all the famous places, right before our faces, pictured in the book. Look, Cornelia, look, 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 I'm looking. In art and intellect, Paris has affected the West for centuries. Among its many institutes of culture, if the Comédie Française, the École des Beaux-Arts, the Sorbonne, the Opera, and the Louvre were among the many works one sees, was the Mona Lisa. Was the Mona Lisa. North of the Seine extends the right bank, here found the great boulevards. The Champs-Élysées should be explored from the Arc de Triomphe to the Place de la Concorde. The smart boutiques, the Tuileries, Montmartre, be still my beating heart. The Rue de la Paix, the Place Vendôme. There's nothing like it back at home.
Chance to see before we show off the good old US of A? Convey our best to Mrs., will you?
I'll just do that little thing, Charlie boy. Well, see you back in old Kansas City, pal.
You said it. Remember, don't take any wooden suits.
Real French bohemians. Well, nobody's perfect. Look at me, Emily. Well, no country bumpkin. Cinderella's pumpkin.
In this bed, Mademoiselle once slept Louis XIV.
How historical.
I knew the Mademoiselle would be pleased. Call me if there is anything else I can do for you. I would be much pleased. Soon, I have another bed to replace that cot.
Oh, thank you, madame. You have done too much as it is.
In this bed once slept Louis XIV.
Feels as if he's still in there.
Emily, where's your sense of romance?
Think of it. Sleeping in a bed. With what's held?
A king.
Fine. Then it's yours. I'll take the cot.
That bed might have been fine for a king, but an American girl still prefers her comfort.
Oh, thank you, Emily. I really appreciate this. After a while, though, if you decide you want the bed, I'll be glad to change it.
No thanks. You sleep historically, I'll sleep comfortably.
Honestly, Emily, all you ever think about is sleep. You're so jaded.
I'm not jaded, I'm tired.
We can't afford for you to be tired. As it is, we lost 2 precious weeks with me sick in bed with the measles.
But you can't say we haven't been making up for it. I think it was awfully nice of your parents, under the circumstances, to let us stay on our own. You know, for parents, they're really quite mature.
Yes, in a pinch somehow they always do seem to come through.
It's funny. Your parents frightened me a little at first. Especially your father. I mean, after all, he is Otis Skinner, even if he is your father. But in these last 2 weeks, I really got to know him. Why, he's just wonderful, and he doesn't frighten me one bit. As a matter of fact, I think I frighten him.
But he's very fond of you, Emily. In fact, I think that's the main reason he let me stay out here instead of moving my poor, sick body in with them.
Whatever the reason, I'm grateful. These last few days have been just wonderful. And tomorrow we're seeing Bob and Dan. Versailles in the afternoon, Delmonico's for dinner, then the opera, and then dancing. It's almost too much. I never even thought they'd call once we got to Paris.
It is too much.
There's something I didn't tell you. I was saving it as a surprise.
What?
Remember when you left me for a few minutes this afternoon to phone your family? Well, there I was, sitting there in that little sidewalk cafe, when this Frenchman passed by. And just as he was about to pass the table, he stopped dead in his tracks and stared at me.
At you?
Yes, at me! And I don't know what you find so astounding about that, Cornelia Skinner. In my time, I've attracted a lot of stares.
But this time it was from a man.
Well, first off, he said something in French, which I couldn't quite get. But then he said,
I have never seen such grace in anyone sitting down. But you must be a great dancer, a famous ballerina.
Why'd you say to that? I said, no, I was Emily Kimbrough, an English major at Bryn Mawr, but thanks anyway.
What did he say to that?
He said, I must be making with him the joke. But if I was not making with him the joke, then what a terrible waste. With my natural grace, I should be a dancer. And Cornelia, guess what? By the most marvelous coincidence, he happened to be a famous French dancing instructor. And he said he'd like nothing better than to give me dance instruction. Imagine that, a famous dancing teacher singling me out and wanting to give me instruction.
Emily, how marvelous. Maybe you'll become a great ballerina. And to think it all happened as accidentally as that. Of course you're going to study with him. he has an opening for just one more pupil for private lessons. And Emily, hold your breath. Just on the basis of hearing my voice, talking to my family, he's agreed to take me on. Oh, what a day for luck. There must be something about us that attracts it.
We're the two luckiest girls in the world. Only wonderful things can happen to us here in Paris from now on.
Come on, Emily, let's get to sleep. That way tomorrow will be here sooner.
I really don't know if it's wise for a famous ballerina to be seen spending her time in the company of two medical students. Look, if a famous actress can do it, I don't see why a famous ballerina can't. I suppose. Good night, Miss Bernhardt.
Good night, Miss Calderon.
Bonjour, c'est mademoiselle. On peut dormir?
Très bien, merci.
Emily, look at me. What did it? This is horrible. I stored bed, and I always get bitten, and it's always on my face. Every species of the insect kingdom bites me. Fleas, spiders, flies, even moths. And they never bite me anywhere except on the face. Maybe it's the perfume you use. What'll I do? We have dates with the boys this morning. I'll never see them. I'd rather die. And if they ever find out the cause of my disgrace, I'll kill myself. Don't be ridiculous. There must be something that will take that swelling down. I know. We'll get someone to go to the American drugstore and get something for us. This must have happened before. And we'll never tell another living soul.
Contact old King Louis and ask him what he used. There's someone there, or another bedbug trying to get in.
Who could it be?
I'm terribly sorry, but we've been quarantined. You'd better go away if you don't want to come in contact with a rare tropical disease.
And if you don't want to come in contact with a father's rat, you'd better open this door immediately.
Father, just a minute. I don't want my father to see me like this. He would never understand.
Just a minute. Don't be silly. He'll understand.
Now, would you mind explaining this rare tropical disease?
Mr. Skinner, Mrs. Skinner, we are in terrible trouble.
Why, you poor children. What's the matter?
Well, it's Cornelia, really. She's the one that's in trouble physically. But I'm in it too, of course, because we're together.
What do you mean Cornelia's in trouble physically?
Well, she was attacked last
Where?
night. In bed. We didn't know about it when we moved into this pension yesterday.
Oh, these French.
We didn't want to tell anyone, but we thought we could get something at the drugstore because she's really very badly bitten. Isn't there something that will keep them from coming back?
Them?
Yes, or should we burn the bed?
What are you talking about?
likely to recognize the work of bedbugs also.
Mr. Skinner, you were bitten by bedbugs?
On tour, I was known as Skinner the Midnight Snack.
This is no time to reminisce. Look at your daughters now. What can we do?
Send the concierge for the calamine lotion and Lysol solution from our room at once.
But Bob and Dan are going to be here any minute.
Cornelia, I'll get the lotion while you dress. You can help her, Emily.
This bed is the culprit, I take it.
It is, and I wish you would take it right out of here.
It's rather an imposing piece.
Louis the 14th left of it.
Was probably glad when the revolution
Guillotining is a cure for bedbugs.
Here is the medicine you asked for. Is someone sick?
No, just slightly altered for the worse. Thank you. Here's the lotion, Cornelia. Apply it at once.
Here, let
Ow! Ow!
Otis, do you think you can get rid of the bed bugs in that bed?
Do I think I can? Give me a pail, a brush, a mop, disinfectant.
Mr. Skinner, this is so wonderful. Are you sure we can't help?
Nothing to it, my child. With those who know their bed bugs, it's Otis every time.
Father, don't tell me you've had to do this many times before.
Oh, the stories I could tell of touring on the road. But of course, National Geographic has bought exclusive rights.
You're a man of many untapped facets, Otis.
Father, what would we do without you?
I shudder to think.
Yes?
Mademoiselle, do messieurs are downstairs. They desire to see you.
The boys, they're here. The medical students we told you we met on the boat. They've come to take us out.
Dear, I don't know if I approve you seeing boys who hardly know. Otis, do you think...
Mother, there's nothing wrong with those boys. It's me. How can I let them see me looking like this? And Daddy, look at you. How can we explain you?
I don't think I have to be explained, Cornelia. I think I'm enough of an actor to get this bit of action across. I'm sure they'll get the idea that I'm cleaning a bed.
All right. I'll explain to them that you came up in the middle of a bright, sunshiny day, as you're often wont to do, to clean out my bed. At best, they'll think we're only a bit peculiar.
I suppose you would look a trifle peculiar to an outsider, my dear.
Never mind how he's going to look. Look at me. What can I do?
Don't forget to have them do the measles with you. Besides, they are medical students, aren't they?
Yes, but why do I always have to look like a patient?
What can I do? Well, the worst thing you can do is not let them wake you. That's not very manly. Would you ask the gentleman up, please?
Mais oui. That is a new American way for brushing the teeth, yes?
This is a new American way to keep from screaming, yes.
To keep from screaming, vraiment, but America is the most advanced country.
How could you do that? Now they'll be up here any minute.
You could have very...
Jacques, I will be forced to challenge you to a duel. My good friend, it was only a figure of speech. You know I do not duel. Besides, I hawk my swords to pay the phone bill. And what for? So I can hear you abuse me like this? I promise you will see the money before the end of the week. Last week I meet a wealthy American who I'm giving lessons in acting. She is due here any minute now. You will have the money shortly. Jacques, I promise. Is that any way to talk? Nowadays, who slits throats from ear to ear? It is nonsense. I must go now. She will be here momentarily. I will call you tomorrow. Jacques, it will be difficult for me to talk with my throat in the condition you describe. Why must I have always this desire to gamble? It is the ruin of me. And so are you. What is it now?
Money.
Money, money. It is always money. Do you not hear what I just told Jacques? There will be money. We have only to wait for the American.
But still, it is always waiting for someone. I warn you, Pierre, if there is no money this time, then there is no Babette.
Babette, don't talk like that. There will be money. I promise. As long as there is American tourists, there will always be money.
Au revoir, Pierre. I leave the tourist trade in your hands.
Au revoir. Mademoiselle Skinner, you are right on time.
Oh, Monsieur Henri, I can't tell you how much this means to me.
No, mademoiselle. Believe me, it means more to me. Now, Mademoiselle Skinner.
Oh, please, call me Cornelia.
With pleasure. Mademoiselle Cornelia, is there something you can recite for me? I would like to see most what you need in the way of dramatic training. But before we begin, there is the small matter of my compensation.
Oh, of course, Monsieur Henri. I can't seem to understand this French currency. I'm never quite sure.
But of course, it's all too complicated. Artists should not be bothered with these petty bourgeois matters. I will help myself.
An Elegy in the Death of a Mad Dog.
Hello,
by
Francois.
Oliver Goldsmith.
Pierre.
Good people
Who is
all
good in
of
the 30
every
odds
sort
nuts?
give ear into
Quick,
my
Frank.
song.
Put
And if you find
5
it rather
francs for me
short,
on the nose.
it cannot hold you
I have
long.
the money.
In Islington there
I
was
have
a
the
man
money.
of whom the world
What?
might say that
Yes,
still a
I
godly race
understand.
he ran when air
With
he
a
was
broken
bred.
Beaujolais bottle.
A kind and gentle
But
heart.
I said I have the money.
To comfort friends and
Yes,
foes.
Francois.
The naked
All
every
right,
day he
yes,
clad
I'll
when he
be
put on his clothes.
Please continue,
And in that
Mademoiselle.
town a
I am
dog was
listening very
found.
well.
As many dogs there be.
Continue,
Both
Mademoiselle.
mongrel,
You were
puppy,
doing just
whelp, and
fine.
hound, and curs of low degree.
Jean, is that
This
you?
dog and man at first
Listen,
were
everything is
friends,
fine.
But when a peep
I have
began,
right now in my
the
hands
dog
what you were
forgave his
interested in.
private ends when
Fine,
now
fine.
he
Keep
opened
going.
it. Around
Not you,
the
Jacques. I was
old
talking to
neighbor's
someone
streets,
else.
The wondering
I just called to tell
neighbors
you we're
ran
all right now.
and swore the dog had
Cease the
lost
word.
his wits to bite so good a man.
Bientôt.
Should I continue, monsieur?
Oui, Mademoiselle.
Fine, keep going.
The wound, it seemed both sore and sad to every Christian eye. And while they swore the dog was mad, they swore the man would
That will
die.
be all, Mademoiselle. The voice is a precious thing. It is not to be strained by overuse. When you again come for your lesson, we will take up the proper breathing. Meanwhile, you must go home and give that magnificent voice of yours a chance to have a rest.
Oh, Monsieur Henri, I can't tell you what 5 minutes have meant to me. I can hardly wait for my next lesson. When is it to be?
Very soon, Mademoiselle. Very, very soon. The day after tomorrow will be fine.
Oh, thank you so much again, Monsieur Henri. I can't tell you how much this means to me. I'll be here the day after tomorrow, about the same time. Maybe then I can finish an elegy on the death of a mad dog. The end's the best part. It's got a surprise. The man recovers from the bite. It's the dog who died.
Most amusing, Mademoiselle. Perhaps you'll finish it for me another time. Meanwhile, au revoir, Mademoiselle. You are early for me.
It is not I who am early, it is you who are late. If you're finished, Pierre, please leave. I do not have much time.
I'm leaving. Do not worry. It is all yours.
Entree.
Monsieur Duval, I'm here for my dance lesson.
Very well. Much better than I expected.
What would we do without Americans?
Starve, probably.
Lafayette was no fool. He knew what he was doing when he went over there.
You know, sometimes I think we're wasting our time here.
I often think the same thing myself. You lose at cards to someone, you sign an IOU. You learn that he's a cutthroat, you haven't got a sou. It's a good a time as any to contemplate my plan. Marry an American.
Thereafter you for larceny, the charge, hélas,
it's true.
Your concierge won't hide you, your rent is overdue. The gendarmerie is coming in the pretty little van. Marry an American.
Oh, Spanish girls are fiery and Irish girls are shy.
And girls in Scandinavia are blunt and blue of eye.
The girls right here in France are very beautiful and gay.
but the girl that I marry will be from the USA. The Dutch girls keep a tiny house, Italian girls we could.
The English girls can't do a thing. I like the way they look.
The girls of Indochina make the most devoted mates, but I'm going to marry with a girl who's from the States.
The Russian girls are so profound.
The German girls are plump and round.
And every Polish girl's a healthy fruit.
But the girls of America we love the best of all, for they have all the loot.
That cupboard which is full now, tomorrow may be bare. And Stanislavski teaches, an actor must prepare. The muses don't belong to the proletariat. Marry an American.
Getting skinny in an attic, teaching Catman acrobatic is not the most pragmatic course.
Marry an American.
Get the money at its source.
It's a method that the Renaissance endorse.
How nice to sit just clipping coupons beside the Vanderbilts and DuPonts.
How nice to greet cold winters coming with central heat and indoor plumbing.
The Boulevard Roosevelt is not a bad street,
But it can compare with Dun and Bradstreet.
we're always told that money won't buy us happiness, but poverty won't either, and I like it less. You can grieve in greater comfort on the beach at one again.
Marry an American. A friend of mine eats steak with his crackers and fromage. His paintings were discovered by Mrs. Mabel Dodge. You can have the Savoy Plaza as your courtier latin. Marry an American.
You can run up bills Patetra at Delmonico's, etc., and never fear the maitre d'.
When you marry an American, the best things in life are free.
If that's the case, let's marry 2 or 3.
Americans are children and slightly lunatic. The way they flash their cash about cuts me to the quick. In order to protect her from the lower type of man, I'll marry an American.
We forgot napkins. Oh, I just knew we'd forget something. It's the napkins.
We have napkins. They're in the closet
mean a dramatic coach and a dancing teacher, both giving lessons in Paris. Naturally, people in the arts gravitate toward each other. They should be here any minute. Comb your hair. How do you think we ought to tell them, Cornelia? The best way would be just to come right out with it, I suppose. After all, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Of course not. Anyone's allowed to come out. We just don't have the money, that's all. We'll be completely straightforward about it. We'll sit them down, and we'll say, Messieurs, we seem to be in a little financial embarrassment at present. We have been taking lessons for a month now, and have been paying promptly. We're a little short of money right now, so could we continue with our lessons, but pay you in 4 weeks when our allowance is due? How does that sound?
Sickening. Let's not do it.
Don't you want to continue with your dance lessons?
Of course I do.
I want to continue with my acting lessons. It's the only thing we can do.
I suppose you're right. But somehow the whole thing seems awfully, I don't know, degrading.
Everyone's supposed to suffer for their art. It's about time we started.
Mercy, they're human!
How do I look? Fine, just fine.
You might at least look at me when you're saying that. Oh, it's you. That's a pleasant greeting. We remembered where you said you were staying, and we happened to be in the vicinity, so we thought we'd pay you a visit.
How nice. Well, it certainly was pleasant seeing you both again. Please feel free to come by any time.
Well, I can say I've gotten more friendly greetings in my time. Expecting someone?
Oh, no, no one at all. We were just about to have some tea, that's all.
You girls better watch yourselves. Eating for 4, you're bound to put on weight, you know.
Oh, the settings, you mean? Well, we are expecting some people.
It's business, you see.
From the rush act you're giving us, it sounds more like men.
Believe us, it's just business. That's why we haven't got more time to spend with you. But we would love to see you again sometime. Why don't you come by in November and we'll talk?
That must be them. I've never seen you two so flustered.
Monsieur, won't you come in?
Enchanté, mademoiselle. Ah, you have company.
Monsieur Pierre-Henri and Monsieur Philippe Duval, I suppose you're going to have to meet Francine Drake and Louise Dennison.
Well, girls, we're sorry you have to run.
Oh, I think we have a few minutes to spare.
Why don't we all sit down?
Yes. Why don't we?
Yes, why don't we?
Give me a minute and I will think of a reason.
This place is most charming, mademoiselle. It always amuses me to see Americans come to Paris and attempt to live beneath their means, hoping that way to see the real Paris.
I hadn't realized that this was beneath our means.
Well, I guess it must be.
And where do you two charming young ladies stay in Paris?
The Ritz. We like our comfort. As long as we can afford it, why not?
Mais certainement. Why not indeed, eh, Pierre?
Try some of these little cakes. They're delicious.
You look as though you've been sampling them quite a lot this past month. Put on a little weight, haven't you?
She has not. She's no fatter than before. That isn't what I mean.
We didn't realize Emily and Cornelia knew anyone here in Paris. Not any Parisians, anyway.
But we only met when they first arrived here.
Nothing slow about you two.
Oh, Monsieur Pierre teaches me acting, and Monsieur Philippe is a dance instructor.
Only in our spare time. Sitting back and leading the rich man's life is not for us.
Not at all. By the way, it's not why we're here. Is there not something about the lessons you said you wished to discuss?
It's nothing important. It can wait.
But why must it wait? We're all here now.
It wasn't anything important. Just a little trouble with our allowances.
Allowances? What is that?
Allowance. That's the money our family gives us every month to live on.
Money that your family gives you to live on? But are you not independently wealthy, with fortunes of your own?
Oh, us? Don't be silly.
On the contrary, it was you who said.
What has your allowance trouble got to do with them?
We were going to ask if we could pay for our lessons at the beginning of
Assuredly not.
No, certainly not. It is not ethical.
Not ethical at all.
It was only a
How does that
suggestion.
question? This is most distressing. It's not the money, of course. It's merely the principle.
But in that case, we'll have to give up our lessons.
That is your problem, not ours.
Personally, I think they're quite right to stick to their principles.
It's obvious it's not the money.
Certainly not.
Then our lessons are over here in Paris.
Taking up Monsieur Pierre and Monsieur Philippe's precious time, and then asking them to wait until you get your allowances. I never heard of anything more ridiculous. I think the gentlemen have been insulted, and you owe them an apology.
We didn't mean to insult anyone. Of course, we apologize.
When you deal with children, you can only expect childish problems.
It is kind of mademoiselle to understand.
It's nothing, really.
Might it be you ladies would be interested in some lessons for yourselves?
Well, we hadn't really thought about it. But of course, if you'd like to take us to dinner and discuss it.
A marvelous idea.
I echo your sentiments, Philippe.
In that case, why don't we leave right now? Then we will have the whole evening ahead of us.
We shall show you a little of Paris by night. I am truly sorry, Mademoiselle Cornelia, but the plan you suggested has no appeal to me. So I suggest you wait till you get back home to continue your acting lessons.
I would suggest the same for your dancing lessons, Mademoiselle Emily.
Of course. If that's the way you want it.
It does seem that after a whole month, no more time for discussion, children. We're off to see the nightlife.
Good day, Mademoiselles. Thank you so much for the tea. It's too bad it had to be in the way of a farewell party, so to speak.
Bonsoir. I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here in Paris.
Monsieur, would you go on ahead of us for a moment? There's something I would like to say to my friend.
Surely, Mademoiselle. We will be waiting at the door.
Francine, do you believe it? Your wonders never cease, and handsome in the bargain, our ships come in Elise. It's a happy end that justifies the meanest kind of weeds. We'll marry wealthy
Obviously, no money, no lessons.
I don't see much principle there. I wouldn't swear to it, Cornelia, but I have a feeling we've been taken. Those two aren't the true artists we thought they were.
The way they played up to Elise and Francine when they heard where they were staying made me kind of wonder.
Well, if money is what they're after, they're in for a big shock. Elise and Francine's allowance isn't much bigger than ours. The only difference is we are spending all of ours for them.
Do I have room for just one more little thing?
No!
Well, then what will I do with this? Haven't you packed that yet?
Oh, what is it?
A fur coat, of course. I saw it here in Paris and couldn't resist it. Besides, it was very reasonable.
I'm surprised they didn't pay you to take it away.
You have no taste. It's lovely. Wait till the kids back home will see it.
Cornelia, no offense, but I think you have to be out of your mind to wear something like that.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, we both suffer from the same mental disorder.
Those outfits, you certainly look as if you do.
Look, do me a favor. When we see each other back home, wear something else.
All right, but I warn you, if I don't hear from you just as soon as you get back, I'll parade back and forth in front of the hospital. And
No, I'll call.
I can tell you hate this coat too.
I don't exactly hate. Just a little wary of it, that's all.
Listen to us. All we've got in our minds are these silly fur coats. And tomorrow morning, Cornelia and I leave for America. 2 weeks from today, you're coming back.
Everything has to end sometime.
But not now. These have been the most wonderful 2 months of our lives.
Of all our lives. Wasn't that something about Elise and Francine?
There ain't two Frenchmen like that.
They sure were lucky.
But America's still home. We have to go back and pick up our lives there.
The thought of leaving Paris makes me want to cry.
I thought Cornelia was supposed to be the emotional one.
How can anyone not be emotional about Paris? It's the most wonderful city in the world. There isn't anything like it anywhere.
It is one of the greatest cities in the world. Nobody will argue that one with you. But any place is still what you make it.
I don't believe that. No place will ever be like Paris.
That's not so. The way you feel makes the place what it is. Listen to me. I know. I've been all over the map.
You've been all over the map? What he means is, he stretched the map out on the floor and walked all over it.
It comes to the same thing. The point is, I've been all over the map, and I've learned something.
As a wanderlust, far beyond the lust of most people's hearts, to see the most exotic parts of Mr. Rand's and Mr. McNally's charms. Their names are like music to my ear, filled with history and atmosphere.
I've been everywhere from Siam to the beach of Miami, and as far as I am concerned, they're all the same. Mozambique or Paris, France or Bhutan on the Hudson, when love butts in, what's in a name? Any town is a wonderful town. Any day is the middle of June, when couples reading poetry below a tree know a tree's charms. They skip museums and palaces, make Alice's world in their arms. Baby, any town is a wonderful town. Any street is the way to the moon. And when to I say Trabian, Canadian, Arabian night, 'cause any town is a wonderful town, all right.
When a girl can have a swell beau being gallant and forever, baby, I
it's doing it proud, then Eddiestown is a wonderful town.
I think you're right, Dan. Any town is wonderful if you're there with someone you like. Home will be wonderful too.
All right, enough sentiment. Are you all packed?
Just about. That just about that worries me. Entree.
Just think that maybe the last entree. Just say. Mother! Father, don't tell me it's that time already.
It isn't. You know your mother. Nice to see you again, Bob. Dan.
Goodness, Cornelia. Emily, I don't know where you found the room to pack all the things you brought.
Oh, we managed to fit everything in, more or less.
He was kind of touch and go there for a while, till we all sat on the suitcase.
Mr. Skinner, is it really time to leave now?
Well, I don't think it would hurt if we got there a little early.
Everything's done. I guess we ought to be getting along.
Well, why don't you come down and see us off?
You sure we won't be in the way?
We'd love to have you. When are you boys coming home?
In a couple of weeks.
And I'm afraid you'll be seeing a good deal of us back home, too.
Well, if the girls don't object, and they certainly don't look as if they do, we are mere parents, too. You'll be most welcome.
Come on now, girls, let's get ready to leave.
I can't. I can't. I can't tear myself apart.
Why don't you all go on ahead? I'll stay here and tear her away.
Times when Cornelia frightens me.
You're not alone. Let's get all this stuff downstairs.
Cornelia, it's time to go. Oh, Emily, it's all ending. Cornelia, we'll be back again. We will. We will come back, Emily. Won't we? Yes, we'll be back. But it won't be quite the same.
Time to go, yes I know. Summer's come to its ending while we were pretending like children at play. When our hearts were young and gay. Sad at heart we must part. Walls that once held our laughter will hold others after. Just echoes will stay of our hearts so young and gay. But though time may change it in hundreds of small ways, for us it always will be this way. Life goes fast, far too
Kids, why don't you come out and take another bow? Come on. Just stay out here. On the back of your program, where you see VEP and Associates, I got worried because I know how much work Virginia and Edna and Pat have put into costumes, and I didn't know who VEP was. So I went to Mrs. Searle, I said, Mrs. Searle, you have somebody else program. Well, that's Virginia Young, Edna Bloomer, and Pat Johnson. And I want you to know that they put lots and lots of time into the costumes, and they deserve it. Mr. McManus, if you could come up here, please. And I don't know when Mr. Walter is. The fun part of being principal is to get to watch these kids once in a while practice and pull programs like this off, whether it's something like this or a music program or whatever it is. But I want you to know that these things just don't happen in spite of what you may think out there. They just don't fall out of the sky. There's lots of scripts to learn and lots of lines to try to memorize and come off the right way and then add to it all the music. I want you to know that the music score down here, and I'm not a musician, but all there is just a kind of a piano accompaniment. And over Christmas vacation, Mr. McManus, with this wonderful machine he has, did all that orchestration that you heard that made it sound like an orchestra or whatever it was. He did that whole thing on that machine right there, and I think that is really something to follow. So, what Miss Walter did and Mr. McManus did in helping put this thing together, I want you to know that I sincerely appreciate their hard work, the hours they put in, this hour after hour after hour, along with the young people. I can't deny that. They were here, parents, when they said they were practicing. They were here. But I'd like to thank Steve McManus and Rosemary Walter for the great job they did in doing this program. Let's give them a round of applause.
This was what Steve really wanted. So this is a poster of the play, as you probably recognize, and all the kids signed it with messages for him.